Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider of the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwood alongside Kevin Robinson, and it's finally championship week for track and field as they'll head to Cincinnati. But first of all, Coach, before we focus on that, I know it's going to be a really special time of year, really proud time to see your 20-plus seniors get their degrees at the University of Memphis. And it was part of the largest graduating class in school history.
Yeah, it's really it's an emotional situation when you have that many kids that you brought in 4 or 5 years ago that stuck it out, and you see them walk and get their diploma, and you see a lot of maturation, you see a lot of progress in their lives, not only on the track but just in general, and to see that many quality student athletes to graduate and prepare themselves to enter the workforce and move forward with their lives. It's a really special time, and I think it's really neat that it's the biggest class of seniors that I've had. I'm not sure about in the history of the program, but certainly for as long as I've been coaching here, it's the largest group. And on top of that, for them to be a part of the largest graduating class in the University of Memphis history as well, it's really a special time. And my hat's off to those men and women. They did a great job, and it's difficult to replace a lot of those student athletes, and it's kind of an emotional time for me. But I'm really happy and excited for them and what they've accomplished. And like I told them, the celebration of graduation has come and gone, but we're not quite done yet.
Right.
So we still got a little bit of work to do.
But one thing to touch on, you mentioned the maturation of a graduating class, whether it's this one or any of the others you have. It's always interesting, the four or so years that they're here. You always come in out of high school as a senior, your freshman year in college. It's really, what am I going to do athletically? I've got these aspirations over the next 4 years, but you see that kind of change as they grow up, and you see people probably get a little more serious academically, culturally, how they integrate into society, really where they want to go once they're done with their athletic career, whether it be at Memphis or if they have a post-college athletic career.
Yeah, it really is like such an integral time in those. Yeah, they come in as 17, 18-year-old kids, and they're exposed to a completely different life and a completely different culture, and you see a lot of growth, and you see a lot of maturation, and you see a lot of progress. So it's really neat to sit back and watch the development, and of course as a coach, we're trying to win and trying to be competitive, and we can be really focused on certain aspects, but over the course of 4 or 5 years, you get to know a lot of these kids really well, and you live some ups and you live some downs with them, and a lot of times it can be a roller coaster, and to be a part of that, and to feel like as a coach and a mentor, as a leader, you've had some sort of effect on these kids, and hopefully usually positive, but yeah, it's really neat, and I love what I do, and I honestly can't see doing anything else. And this is kind of like one of those times where it's like, wow, this is really neat. This is really special.
And it's got to be interesting too, because you really don't know what you're going to get when they come in as freshmen. You kind of have an idea, but when they get here, you're not sure. And it's got to be rewarding when they get ready to graduate, because I'm sure there's some early on that first semester at college, you think that this person doesn't have a clue or a chance, and they end up just shining brightly by the time they graduate.
Yeah, we see all kinds of different kinds of kids that come in, and some of them are at a pretty high level academically and athletically when they come in. Some are much more developmental in both senses. So yeah, it's I've had a lot of cases of kids that came in, and I'm like, good God, I don't know if this kid's going to make it the first semester.
Right.
But then 4 or 5 years down the road, you see them graduate and get their diploma, and it's like, wow, what a turnaround. That's awesome. And there's some that come in and they've already got it. They've got it figured out. And then there's others that come in and they don't have a clue. And that's part of our role here, is to just help guide and lead and mentor and discipline when necessary, push when needed, be an ear. Be someone that you can lean on and talk to when times get tough, and we got to wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, as you mentioned, it's a chance now to focus completely on the championships up at Cincinnati. Let's take a look at your squad. Let's start off with the men. They're going to have some momentum after that nice finish at the indoor.
Yeah, the guys' team's pretty strong. We definitely have a very, very competitive group coming in. We have the opportunity to win several individual events. We are able to compete at a high level in almost every event across the board. I think we have 2 events where we do not have a presence in at all. And other than that, we're competitive and we're grinding. And there's a little chip on the shoulder with a lot of those guys. But, when you get down to it, it's a track meet just like any other track meet. And we're going to go in and we're going to battle. If we can stay healthy and if we can continue to build on some of the progress and success that we've had throughout the season, I do feel like we can stack up pretty well. And I don't know what's going to happen when it all is said and done, but I do believe that group of men can go in and compete at a high level and do a great job.
On the women's side, when you went to the indoor, weren't really able maybe to get up to your potential. You're kind of banged up a little bit, but I know they've come along here in the outdoor season.
Yeah, specifically the field eventers, the jumps, the throws have really taken off outside, and the addition of Martina in the distance events is huge for us. And we're not taking a huge squad. We'll probably have 2 of the smaller teams at the championship, but I feel like we're bringing a pretty high quality group, both on the men and women's side. I feel like the women's team is a little bit younger. We've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores that are contributing at a pretty high level, whereas on the men's side, we've got a lot of graduating seniors. So, a little more senior laden on the men's side, a little bit more leadership in terms of, hey, these guys have been here and done this on multiple occasions. So they know a little bit more about what they're getting into. But I do have a lot of faith in the girls that we're bringing. I think that they're going to be ready. They're hungry. After what happened indoor, they're bound and determined not to let it happen again. So I feel good about both groups. It should be pretty exciting.
Coach, didn't have a meet last week, obviously exam week, and you want to have some time for recovery. How have things gone the last week and a half, 2 weeks, as far as ramping up now for the championships?
Well, I feel like for the most part, we've done a pretty good job of maintaining the health of the student athletes. And this is the time of the year where we start to back off a little bit and ease the training load so that they can start to feel better and start to peak a little bit. So a little banged up in a couple of event areas, but I think all in all, with the exception of, we lose Sarah, that is tough. We lost Paris, that's really tough. On the guy's side, I lost Max, who's a jav thrower. He didn't even get a chance to compete at all this year. So, we're a couple of key athletes down, but I don't think it's going to be so detrimental that it's going to really impact our team placing and our ability to compete at a high level.
Sounds good. Coach, best of luck up at Cincinnati.
Thank you, Jeff.
That is head coach Kevin Robinson. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.